Good morning, students. As you all know, I have finished the explanation of the chapter number first on equality civics. Okay, so students, it is very necessary to revise the chapter after the completion of the explanation. Okay, so we will take a short recap with question answer. Clear all of you? Okay, so basically, students, in this chapter, what we have learned. So the central concept of this chapter is to understand about the equality. How the earlier in some part of India, especially in the rural areas, the India where the most of the people of India were became the victim of inequality. Okay, and they were not getting the self-respect and they were not getting the dignity, especially the lower caste people, especially the Dalit people. They were not getting the dignity and their self-respect. Okay, all the time their self-respect was shattered and was broken by the other people. Okay, so and this thing also is practiced at some places, at some remote areas, in some villages. It is still also exist. Okay, so what the government need to do is the government need to do abolish all this type of practice, and so that's why government has taken a different type of measures. Okay, government has taken a different type of measures. Okay, and they made some rules and regulations. Okay, like a universal adult franchise. Student, do you know the meaning of universal adult franchise? Okay, the meaning of universal adult franchise, it means the voting rights. Okay, all the adults who are above 18 have the voting rights in India, irrespective of the caste, religion, gender, place of birth, financial background. Okay, all these things will not be considered in the universal adult franchise, but those who above 18, they can give their votes. Okay, now what is the dignity over here, student? The meaning of dignity, it means self-respect, and everyone, each and every person has their own dignity and self-respect. Okay, then one more thing we have discussed, which type of measures are taken by the government of India. So government has implemented some rules and regulation. Okay, and apart from this, the government has also, to uplift the life of the lower caste people, the government has also implemented some policies and some schemes, some programs. Okay, the one program that we have discussed in this chapter, that is the midday meal scheme. Okay, the Tamil Nadu is the first state who introduced the midday meal scheme first of all in its school. Especially in midday meal scheme, the function of the government is to provide the cooked lunch to the students. Okay, the function of the government is to provide the cooked lunch in the government schools. Okay, and even if it is possible, they may employ the Dalit people only for cooking, so their life can uplift. Okay, and what is the advantage of this, student? Midday meal scheme. The advantage of midday meal scheme, it will increase the enrollment ratio and attendance ratio. Okay, so by this way the attendance ratio will be improved. Okay, the attendance of the student will improve. Okay, so earlier when the student at the time of the lunch, when student went at their home and didn't come back, but now student get the food at school only, so now they don't need to go at home. That's why the improvement ratio will improve. Okay, and their focus will also get improved, because of now their stomachs are not empty, their stomachs are filled. Clear all of you? Okay, now we will take the first question. Okay, now student, what is the first question? So first question is, in a democracy, why is universal adult franchise UAF important? Can't we survive without UAF? In democracy, we cannot survive without UAF. So why it is so important? Okay student, so UAF is so important because in a democracy, universal adult franchise is important. Because of what? Because you just think about it, student. When we have initiated the chapter, at that time I told you democracy is totally based on the equality. Democracy, the main and the focused principle for the democracy is equality. Okay, so if equality will be there, then the person should be equal, and something they should get like they feel that we are equal. So this universal adult franchise is something that they can feel that we are equal. Okay, so democracy is the government of people, by the people and for the people. It means the final authority, the superior authority remains in the hands of people. Clear all of you? So every adult, irrespective of caste, creed, this all I have told you. Okay, so they get the voting rights, and this is called the universal adult franchise. So UAF, universal adult franchise, is required in the democracy because of the democracy is based on equality. Clear all of you? Okay. So in between, student, we have discussed about the Article 15. We have discussed the two provision of the Article 15. Okay. So what is the one provision? The one provision is that the Constitution prohibits the discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Okay, so it suggests what it states that no discrimination against any citizen on the grounds of sex, religion, race, caste, and gender, place of birth, all will be there. Okay, and last is no citizen shall be subject to any disability, liability, and restriction on the grounds of only religion, race, caste, sex, and gender. And even one more thing we can add, student, no one can be prevented to entering in the public places like mall, multiplex, theaters, roads, highways, okay, temples, gardens, all these things. Okay, these I have told you. Clear, student? Okay, now we will take the next question. Now you have heard the two stories of Om Prakash Valmiki. One is Om Prakash Valmiki and one is about Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. Now what is the similarity of Mr. and Mrs. Ansari and Om Prakash Valmiki's story? The similarity between both the stories is that one story, in both the stories, they face the inequality. Okay, it is clear, student, all of you? Are you getting my point, what I am telling you? In both the stories, both the people have faced the inequality, but the reason for inequality is different. Okay, for example, in the Om Prakash Valmiki's story, Om Prakash has to face the inequality because of his caste, because of his lower caste. Because of his lower caste, he had to sweep the school playground and school and all these things. Okay, and he didn't get the chance to sit and to get the education with the other children. Clear, all of you, student? Now when I talk about the Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, so they also became the victim of inequality. How? So they became the victim of inequality on the basis of religion, because they were Muslims. The people made so many allegations on them. Okay, people made so many allegations on them, and because of the Muslims, people put a different type of excuses on him, and by the end of the story, they also became the victim of the religion inequality, which is based on the religion. Okay, so both the stories are similar, but the difference is the reason for inequality. One is on the basis of caste and one is on the basis of religion. Clear, all of you? Now last question, student. All persons are equal before the law. Why do you think it is important in a democracy? Okay, all persons are equal before the law. Okay, no one is higher than law. No one is higher than the eyes of law. every citizen, each and every citizen, whether it is a celebrity or a common man, whether he or she is a businessman or a common man, rich or poor, politician or a common man, all the people are equal in front of the law, in front of the eyes of law. Okay, so how it is important in a democracy? Okay, it is also, students, see, this question is also connected with that equality, concept of equality. Okay, because if everyone is equal, if we are believing in democracy, it means everyone should be equal, and if everyone should be equal, then each and every person has to abide by the law of the Indian government. Okay, so all persons are equal before law. We understand equality. By this we can understand equality. It means nothing and nobody will be superior than law. Nobody will be superior than law. Okay, as well as you can say that UAF is also concept of equality. UAF is also concept of equality. Midday meal scheme is also concept of inequality. Okay, these all persons are equal before the law. Okay, this is also concept of equality. It means right from the prime minister or president up to the poorest person of the society, all are equal in front of the law. Clear all of you, student? Now by this way we have finished the chapter with revision and with recap. Okay, with question answer. Okay, I hope you have cleared all the points in your mind about this chapter. Okay, once again we will come in the Zoom class, student, so whatever the remaining doubts you can sort it out over there. Thank you so much, student.